Hello and welcome to our award-winning podcast series, MVP, the Master's Voice podcast from Mediabrief.com. I'm your host and friend Pavan Chawla, and with me today is a distinguished expert and thought leader who brings enormous experience and learnings wide and deep from across the spectrum of radio, audio, music and more. He's like an audio guru, one of the wisest, most experienced, deeply knowledgeable and sagacious who has worked for the best interests of audio in India across creative, technology, broadcast, digital, industry bodies and associations and more, and is now championing the bringing together of creators and licensors of great audio tracks through his amazing new offering, SyncMama.com. That's completely blown me away. And is working on advocacy to protect the rights and interests of the smaller composers and their ilk. That was the longest I've spoken about any guest before coming to their name, and here it is now. Please join me in welcoming the incomparable, the one and only Achille Forler, founder and executive director of SyncMama.com. Achille, welcome to MVP, the Master's Voice podcast on Mediabrief.com.
Well, thank you very much, Pavan. I'm glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Achille, for being on the show and speaking with me late in the evening India time, all the way from France. And thanks also to Simone Pius from Prominent Comms for having made this interaction possible. Achille, I believe that the music industry is weighted against artists, with even successful music artists seeing pitiful returns from streaming, and I know that is also your view that you hold. And that's where SyncMama comes in. It's a subscription-led library and music licensing platform for user-generated content creators and has identified music to have huge potential given the emerging raw talent of music composers in the country, in India, and in fact across the world. And Achille, anyone who knows anything about you, anyone who's ever done any work with audio, radio and more in India would know Achille is a French national who loves India, who's lived in India for 45 years and the entire spectrum of, broadcast, audio and much more in media and entertainment. But before we begin our conversation, allow me to introduce you to my listeners, Achille. So here goes. Achille Forler has 35 years of experience in the creative industries, 10 years of experience in cultural management, followed by 5 years as a public servant, reporting to the French Ministry of Foreign Affairs on film, broadcasting and music industries. In 1994, Achille left the Foreign Service to create Silk Road Communications, a strategy consultancy company. Achille founded Deep Emotions Publishing, India's first music publishing company in 1996. After a partnership with BMG Music Publishing in 2006, it was acquired by Universal Music Publishing in 2012. In 2017, Achille founded Music Rights India, which is www.musicrights.in, and became a permanent advisor to the Indian Performing and Mechanical Rights Society. So that's my distinguished expert guest today, Achille Forler, founder and executive director of SyncMama.com. Achille, let's get on with it, shall we?
Well, if you have your parachute on, we can dive.
Yes, I will need that. And it's going to be a deep, deep dive headlong because This is Achille Forler I'm speaking with. So Achille, you're offering some amazing material and top quality production support for video and audio content creators through licensing music tracks produced to the best creative and technical standards. And we will come to SyncMama soon because I love the offering and I believe it adds tremendous value to creators. But first, your overall perspective on the industry, Achille. Video is the biggest buzzword today. Facebook says up to 95% of the content consumed on it is in the video format. Of course, a crucial part of the video elements is the entire audio that is used and is, to my mind, crucial to the overall quality of any video element. So tell us first about the video industry in India in brief, size, growth potential, back of the envelope if you will.
Yeah, well, as you say, video has in the last 10 years become very big, and it has become very big as a music discovery platform. And we have a lot, because why it has opened the production to individual creators, what is called the user-generated content creators. And today these UGC content has become, in value, it has become as big as the traditional production, say television or film. It has become huge. You can see it on YouTube, or you can see it on Instagram, etc. So whenever there is video, you need audio. Okay, so remove the audio from mobile phone, and it will not be very smart anymore. So audio is really music is the driver. It's the silent, unseen driver of this new industry. And so when you said in the beginning that streaming is not able to pay the bills of the most of the musicians, yes, because the music industry has changed. Today, if you look at the top 20, you may not even know any one name. Right. Because it changes so much. So we have this new industry, which is called user-generated content. And these users need music to support their video.
Right. Which brings me to my next question, Achille. Share, please, a slightly larger perspective of the audio industry, size, scale, growth, the past and the promise. And then you can go on to how the audio industry has changed and how music is becoming huge.
Well, it will take a long time, but to go over all this. But just basically, you can see, everybody can see that music discovery has changed. You don't discover anymore music by listening to radio. Right. In fact, if I see the people I know, or even my driver, my maid, none of them is listening to radio. They're all watching YouTube or Insta or whatever. Right. So they are discovering music through new platforms, which are user-generated platforms.
Excellent.
There are no professional producers behind. Production companies like Red Chilies it is the individuals who suddenly have been given power, and some of these of those who post this content, influencers, YouTubers, who have today more followers than even big artists.
Right.
Because they are creators.
Right.
And they post, content that is of interest to the viewers. Now, all these creators, individual creators, they need music.
Right.
And the music industry has not been able to answer their needs.
Achille, I completely agree with you, and that's why the concept and the offering of SyncMama actually blew me away. So tell me, where does SyncMama come in? Tell us about your business there at SyncMama. What are the problem areas and the need gaps that SyncMama is trying to fill? And what are the USPs that help it to do so?
Yes. So let me tell you how SyncMama, the idea, where it came from.
Right.
As you know, since 2017, I am advisor to the board of the Indian Performing Rights Society.
Yes.
And so I saw the society we have developed. We have gone from 33 crores to over 300 crores this year.
Wow.
But the feedback from our team is that there is really a progress of what is called royalty-free music, which is taking over in many ways.
Right.
Now, what is royalty-free? Royalty-free means no royalties are being paid to those who create music.
Right.
Okay, that is royalty-free.
Right.
And which means that it takes us back to the pre-2012 amendments of the Indian Copyright Act. It takes us back to a time where lyricists and composers were just laborers waiting at the Char Rasta every morning for a producer to come by and say, I need you, do the work, here is the payment, and now get lost. Okay?
Yes.
So I thought about this, and as you know, when I was Universal Publishing, I had under me what is called production music, library music. And we had big clients. Okay, so every client would run into lakhs or crores, whatever the deal. But we were unable to answer the needs of these small guys who say, hey, I'm starting a YouTube channel. I need some good music. Can you help me? So big companies have been unable to answer what I call the micro-licensing need of these people. These are micro-licenses.
Right.
All right? So this market was taken over 5-10 years ago by the royalty-free, who would simply buy out the rights and then offer them on a subscription basis.
Okay.
And so I thought that we have to find a solution within the copyright system.
Right.
A solution that benefits those who write this music.
Who create it.
And not the tech platforms or the investors who invested in the technology of the platform.
Absolutely.
All right.
And these are the ones who will buy the music rights forever and then keep farming them out and deprive the creators of their rightful revenues.
And not only that, they don't allow the creator to register their compositions with the Copyright Society.
Right. And so
they will never see any royalty.
Yes. No music cue sheet will have it also.
Yeah. So we're back to pre-2012.
Absolutely.
So basically, in India, in my opinion, if you look at the Copyright Act, royalty-free is illegal.
Right.
Because the Act says that a lyricist or a composer, he can assign his copyright, but he cannot assign his or her right to royalty. That is equal to that of the publisher. So 50-50.
Absolutely.
So I thought, and that was during the COVID, I thought about this and I thought, there has to be a better way. And that is where SyncMama was born.
Okay.
Because SyncMama is a solution that today you can check across the internet that is unique because it addresses the needs of the micro-licensing producers as well as the traditional producers.
Okay, so 3 or 4 simple points, the USPs, like the idiot's guide to SyncMama to somebody who has never heard of it. Instead of talking now about the background and absolutely the wonderful little deep dive you gave me on the industry need and how you're helping these creators, just tell me, okay, this is what SyncMama is. I know about it, but I want it from you for my listeners.
It's very simple. A soundtrack is what? A soundtrack is music, special effects, even needed, and a voiceover. Okay? So when you come to SyncMama, you have everything. Today we have 400,000 tracks. Tomorrow we are going to have 600,000 tracks.
And these are for being licensed to creators.
Yes. So you can access them. Now, anyone who has ever been a music supervisor and synced music to image knows that it takes a huge amount of time to find the right track.
Correct.
So what we have introduced on SyncMama is using the new tools provided by artificial intelligence.
Okay.
That you have a track on YouTube that you like, that this is something like this. Just paste the link and our engine will provide
something similar
from our library.
Lovely.
Now, the way, and this is the beauty, the way artificial intelligence works is that you can analyze a track from different angles. What is it that he wants? Is it the beat that he likes? Is it the emotion that he likes? Is it the genre that he likes? All right. So what our engine does, it analyzes the tracks from different angles and then proposes say 20, 30 tracks from different angles.
Got it.
And then you listen to it, and track number 1, no, 2, no, 3, no, 4. 4. So then once you find what is close to you, you click again on there is an icon called the magic wand. You click again on it, and then the search engine understands what you are looking for.
Okay.
And so you refine the search, and within 2-3 minutes, you can really find what you're looking for.
Excellent. So any young creator who doesn't have too much money, wants to do a small video can come. So give me the pricing, etc. also, and the licensing.
The pricing is 450 rupees a month. You can download as much as you want.
Okay.
But you see, who are our competitors? Our competitors are the royalty-free.
Okay.
Now take the biggest of them, or the most popular rather, which is called Epidemic Sound. You go to their website, you have 35,000 tracks.
Okay.
You come to our website, you have 400,000 tracks.
Wow. The creative community wants to be with you.
Exactly. Because good composers, people who are professionals, who know who have been in the business, who have worked on the biggest films, on the Netflix series, etc., they will never work for royalty-free. They will never abandon the rights, never ever, because royalties are the salary and the pension of creators.
Well said. The sooner that, Indian composers understand that, from the smallest to the biggest, the better for them. And what you are doing is enabling and empowering this segment of creators, of audio and music track creators. Lovely, lovely.
Pavan, you have two types of creators. You have people who have specialized in music for image. So they work with Hans Zimmer, they work, with different big composers, or they themselves are composers for films.
Right.
And you have others who are what is called session musicians, touring musicians. And here, that is why I got this idea during COVID. Because a friend of mine, he is a member of Ozzy Osbourne's band.
Okay.
And he's also a member of Black Sabbath, Adam Wakeman.
Okay.
Now, Adam, he was touring with Ozzy when suddenly, everything closed down in 2020. And even now, his guitars are stuck in the US. So he went back to the UK. He's living in a small village. He set up a studio. He called up a few friends who are very good musicians and say, let us start library music.
Okay.
Yeah, production music. So together they started a label, and today they have over 100 albums.
Wow.
So Adam now, again, he's going touring with Ozzy or Black Sabbath, whoever, whenever there are gigs. But gigs are irregular, unpredictable. You have a gig today, you might not have a gig tomorrow.
Yes.
All right. But these royalties from production music, they keep coming.
Right.
And those, I can say, because I have seen the statements, royalty statements, somebody who has been in this business for a few years, who is writing, 50 tracks a year, putting them out, he will see royalties between 1 and 2 crore.
Wow.
Annually.
Amazing.
So production music is a very good side job for many. Now, you see, when you want, say you're a film producer, you want a rock song. Are you going to ask, some composer who is doing everything, also ask, write a rock song? Or you go to somebody who is playing with Ozzy Osbourne or with Black Sabbath and say, write me a rock song. Because he will get the right drummer, he will get the right bassist, he will get,
absolutely.
So production music is a very good new stream of income for composers.
In India,
yes,
you have a lot of composers. Now just let's talk about some of your popular international composers, the ones who've done for Netflix, for instance. I think Money Heist.
Money Heist, yes, Bella Ciao. Now, take Bella Ciao. Bella Ciao It was recorded maybe 20 years ago. It's been there for a long time in one of the albums. Just like what happened with Kate Bush recently in Stranger Things.
Stranger Things, yes.
Then some film producer found and said, this song fits exactly to what I need.
Right.
All right? So Bella Ciao today has become a super hit.
Absolutely.
And those who made the song, though it is a public domain song, so it has been arranged to get arrangement money, but also recording money, suddenly Bella Ciao is generating huge royalties. Let me give you another example from a friend of mine who is a producer in the UK of production music. When he started, he composed and he made several albums, trying his best, giving his best music. And suddenly he realized that one day there is one special effect that he had created, which lasts 7 seconds, which was the highest earner for him in royalties annually.
Wow.
Why? Because a channel in French Polynesia has used this special effect in the theme of its news hour.
Okay.
So it got played every hour of the year.
On the hour.
So he was getting huge royalties.
Oh God.
From a special effect.
Amazing.
So you never know where the money comes from.
Right. And what are the big Indian names on SyncMama amongst the composers, youngsters?
Look, first of all, there is no production music library, not a single production music library in India.
Okay.
Why? Because until 2012, if you invest in it, you would never see any royalty.
Correct.
Okay? Because IPRS was not functioning properly. Now, in the last 12 months, you have 2 libraries. One is Heard Music in Bombay. Heard Music. They are on SyncMama. There is a new one coming up also in Delhi called Dibble.
Okay.
So you have people, you have Hooper also who is coming up. So you have people now who are investing in production music.
Okay.
And creating such platforms because now they can see the royalties.
Got it. Understood.
So right now on SyncMama, we have a couple of thousands of Indian music, but all of this music is made by either Indians living abroad, okay, like Abbas Premji and others, very good composers who are working for films abroad, but they are living abroad. Or you have Indian composers who work for foreign labels.
Okay.
So it is a new industry that now is the right time to create, and that is why you have new people who come into the market and create it.
Lovely. So now, for every young and old, creator of good UGC video content who wants to embellish it, support it, package it with some good music tracks for production, which they have to license instead of, paying a fortune to somebody to compose and give it to them.
Exactly.
So they come to SyncMama. What are the pricing and tiers? You said 450, as many as you like. Just break it down. Please tell me, what is the kind of licensing you give them?
All right. There are 3 tiers.
Okay.
First of all, what people must know is that if you go to a royalty-free, they give you the music, but they don't give you a license. They say, we have your back, we cover you. Nothing is going to happen to you. Okay, today. But what I create under copyright law, it is protected for the next 60 years.
Okay.
So what will happen after 20 years? Some composer sends me a court notice saying that you are using my music without authorization. Now the platform from where I had a subscription, where I got it from, may not exist anymore.
Correct.
Or may have been bought over by somebody else.
Right.
I have nothing to show that I am the owner. And that is where SyncMama gives individual licenses.
Okay.
That is, you yourself, the subscriber, you generate your license.
Okay.
So it's like this. We have 3 tiers. One is solo.
Okay.
That is, if you're an individual creator and you create for your own platform, you have a platform on YouTube, another on Insta, wherever, that is 450 rupees a month plus GST.
450. Yeah.
450 if you pay annually. If you pay on a monthly wise, I think it is 625.
Okay.
But you can download as much as you want. You can do 2 videos a day. We don't care. I don't care. You can do as many as you want.
Can I ask you one more question, just for clarity?
Yeah.
So I'm doing 2 videos a day, suppose, or 1 video a day. Every track that I use in a particular video, I could use 2 tracks in a video.
You can use 10.
Right. Okay, good.
Yeah.
But I have to list all those tracks and I have to tell you which video, and I have to also mention the different social media handles of my company. Is that it?
Yes.
And then you will generate an individual license in writing, like a PDF for us?
Yeah. You yourself generate it.
Okay.
You just answer the mandatory question, which is, what is the name of your production? Where will it be first released?
Okay.
On which platform are you going to release it? Which music are you using? What duration of each track? And then you click and you download your PDF license.
Okay.
You have a license which you can keep forever.
Okay.
And it is valid worldwide.
Okay.
So these are the individual. Then you have the professional, which is the pro subscription, which is 1250 plus GST on a month.
A month.
Yes. Professional is individuals who are who are making, say, ads for social media ads, who are working for others. So they can, when they work for somebody else, that somebody else may say, hey, will I not have a problem if I post this? Then they say, no, here is the license. I got the license for this.
Correct.
All right. So the producer, as well as the one who distributes it, is covered. And it's a license that is valid in a court of law.
Got it.
And then you have the corporates, and the corporate is the traditional way, that is, contact us. Who are you? How much music do you need? Etc. And there is a third aspect, is that we have music, we have sound effects, but we have also text to voice.
Lovely.
So when you are doing, say you're making a tutorial, you have a tutorial on how for example, swimming pool, how to clean a swimming pool or whatever. You know that you have an accent, or you don't want to, go to a studio, book a studio, get somebody to do the voiceover. You just type
Correct.
the text, select the language, select the voice, male, female, and click, and in a minute you have the whole voiceover.
Excellent.
In a human sounding.
Yeah, not a botty kind of a voice.
Not at all. No, not at all.
Okay.
We even have Hindi.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. And in fact, I really like this. There's another thing. There's some podcast kind of services. They say, you know what? We'll hear your voice, write your script, we'll copy and give you the same thing in your voice. But anyways, this is another thing which is a professional aspect of getting a decent voiceover, which is great. It's wonderful value. Yes.
Yeah.
Any parallels to SyncMama in India or internationally? Perhaps not, I guess, because if going by how well SyncMama balances the rights and interests of both, one, the listed composers, and also the licensors. But still, tell me, is there any parallel to this service in India? Do you know, to your knowledge?
As I said, even you can go across the internet. There is no platform like SyncMama that services both the traditional market as well as the micro-licensing market. You have, for the micro-licensing market, you have today the royalty-free, okay, which basically exploit the composers. And for the traditional market, you have the big guys, Universal, BMG, Sony, EMI, Production Music, etc.
Correct.
The problem is that these big guys have not been able to service this micro-license market.
Absolutely. Big ticket.
Why? Because when you license, say for several crores to a broadcaster, and then the broadcaster sees that the same music can be accessed for $6, he'll say, maybe we should, have another talk.
Maybe we should.
Yeah. But this is a totally wrong mindset.
Right.
Let's take again Bella Ciao. Okay. Money Heist, Casa del Papel has made Bella Ciao a super hit.
Right.
But you type now Bella Ciao India on YouTube. You will find, because you can get from our platform, you can get the -1 track.
Okay.
You can get the original instrument minus the voice. So you can put your own voice.
Wow.
You look on YouTube, you have it in Gujarati, in Marathi. You have now.
Excellent.
Now these people, you see, none of them would ever have watched Money Heist. But because of Bella Ciao, they will go and watch Money Heist. It's a virtuous circle. It's a win-win. Copyright is a win-win system.
Right. Really wonderful, great service, Achille, and I must doff my hat to you because it protects the individual composer and gives them something, like you said, which can be a salary and even a pension till the end of time, hopefully.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's great. And now, Achille, let's look at the entire genre that SyncMama is serving today, that of the business of music licensing. Tell me, how organized is the business of music licensing in India? What are its peculiarities in comparison to how it is and what happens overseas?
No, I would say that the 2012 amendments have changed everything in law.
Okay.
Then you have the practice. The practice has changed as far as IPRS is concerned in 2017, 2018, when Javed Akhtar became chairman. And the IPRS, the whole system has been aligned with international best practice.
Lovely.
And it's not an accident that the income has grown in the 5 years that Javed Saab has been the chairman, from 33 crores to 306 crores.
Yes, and you work very closely with him.
Yeah, I'm an advisor to the board, but you have, the whole team, the CEO, Mr. Rakesh Nigam, you have the whole team who are working. We have, IPRS has invested a lot in the back end, in IT. Today we have a big IT team.
Lovely.
We are processing hundreds of crores of streams annually.
Lovely. Great.
So when you say licensing, what is important is that the Copyright Society has to be informed what is licensed where.
Okay.
And that is why when somebody comes on SyncMama and he tells that, look, this is my production, this is the platform where I release it, this is the music that I have been using, this is the number of minutes, seconds of each track, and then he gets a license. On the one hand, he gets a license, but at the back, I am creating a proper cue sheet that I share with the Copyright Society.
Lovely.
Now, if somebody tells me I release it on YouTube, first of all, we get his channel whitelisted. He will not get a copyright strike. Or if he gets a copyright strike, it will be removed within half an hour.
Okay.
Because YouTube, their system is not perfect. So, but the point is that money, which otherwise YouTube will never pay to the person who posts the video. If you post a video with music, royalty-free music, you are not getting paid for that music. They will pay to the owner of the royalty-free music.
Correct.
So here it will be IPRS who will be collecting, and 50% IPRS is going to pay to the artist, and 50% is going to pay to me.
Okay.
And I again will share from that income, I will share with the original right owners.
Every time. Excellent, excellent. And as someone who's very close, Achille, to the entire music business, including the music licensing part of it, what's your view? Is music licensing a challenging process in India?
Yes, Pavan. The traditional way of licensing music can be very cumbersome. Let's say you want to license a track like Don't Funk With My Heart, okay, Black Eyed Peas.
Yeah.
There are 24 right owners.
Right.
All right. Each one has a different publisher.
Okay.
One of the publisher is Saregama, because a sample has been used from Saregama has been used. Now, how long do you think it will take to get an approval from all these right owners that yes, we agree to this price, that it is licensed at this price? It's going to take weeks, if not months, because there will always be one who say, no, it has to be more. And then the end user will say, I don't have that budget, sorry, I'll find something else. While here on SyncMama, it's a subscription-based platform. It's a blanket licensing platform, saying that you pay us this, and then you can use whatever you want. But you have to tell us what you use so that we know whom to pay.
Correct.
I am not paying composers of the music that you download, because sometimes, you download 10 tracks, but in the end you use only 2.
Correct.
Yes. So I'm going to pay for those 2 whom you are using. I'm not going to pay for the others which you have downloaded.
Correct.
So you have to tell me. So the end user, by telling me what music he or she is using, on one hand will get a license, and on the other hand is telling me whom to pay the money he or she is paying me.
Got it.
So it is a very, I would say, it's the fairest way of doing business.
You've simplified the process.
It's a frictionless, because you are generating the license. You don't have to negotiate with anybody.
Got it. Absolutely. Achille, just to move on to something slightly adjacent to this, is that I've always sensed that the process of content licensing and payment regulation too is pretty cumbersome. What is your view, and why do you have that view?
It is cumbersome because somebody has to decide what the value of that transaction is going to be. Okay? It is not cumbersome when there is a blanket license saying that, let's say a broadcaster comes to me and say, we want to use SyncMama, the music. So we will negotiate, say how much music, etc. So we'll agree to a price, let's say 2 crores a year, and you can use any music that you want from SyncMama for 2 crores.
Okay.
That is a blanket license. He comes to me only once to negotiate, and then takes a 1 year or a 2 year or a 3 year license.
Okay.
And so for the next 3 years, he knows what he's going to pay. He knows that he can use all the music he wants, and just, there is no other further negotiation. But if you're a film producer and you want a popular existing track into your film, then you have to negotiate. And that is what is taking a long time. Being a music publisher, I'm doing this all the time. And I can tell you that I have one example. There is a film, documentary film, that is on hold since almost 1 year.
Okay.
Because the music that the director wants, the local representative asks too much. Say, asks 30 lakhs. Now 30 lakhs is more than the production costs of the documentary film.
Right.
See how can you ask for one song?
Yeah.
So okay, then said you go back. So you contact the original publisher, who will then contact the original composer, who happens to be the singer, and she's on tour. So
Got it.
It can be very, very time consuming.
So with the corporates, obviously you can't just give away lifetime kind of licenses.
Yes, of course we do.
You do?
Of course.
Okay. Now, like you said, 1 year, 2 year, 3 years. So
No. That is to use the music.
Okay.
From to access SyncMama and download.
Oh, understood.
But once you join it to your production, you have the right to use it till the end of copyright in your production, of course, and worldwide.
Absolutely. Do you think that the early creators of, licensable music tracks, whose tracks got sort of mopped up by the royalty-free aggregators, do you think they had no guidance? Do you think that they have now been deprived of a whole lifetime of income? Do you feel that royalty-free actually requires the urgent attention of policymakers for Indian music artists to survive? Can there be some retrospective kind of going back and looking at it again in the interests of these creators?
Well, Pavan, as far as India is concerned, the matter to me is very clear. It is illegal. You look at the Copyright Act, it is illegal.
Okay.
Royalty-free is illegal. You are not allowed to take away the right to royalty.
Okay.
And this includes even for foreign work. In India, it is Indian law that is supreme. Even if abroad royalty-free is allowed, in India it is not allowed. That's the end of the story.
Why does it continue?
It continues because in the life of an artist, it's not always top. Sometimes you're also down. You're down and out. You, for various reasons, your girlfriend leaves you, you're heartbroken, you can't compose, your mind is not there, you had an accident, you had COVID, whatever. So you just take whatever comes along. Because you are, as a creator, you are a gig worker.
I agree. All I'm asking is that there was somebody who went away and gave away all the licenses signed off the right to royalties in the future for their creative works.
No, it's illegal.
Right. So then why are the companies like Epidemic, if they are operating in India with Indian rights holders, why are they allowed to continue? And if somebody has signed away rights to a Unisys or any other such brand of North Indian music or whatever Indian music, why are they not told to give back or share royalties with the composer?
Yeah.
Considering that whatever was signed up earlier is in contravention of the Copyright Act later.
Yeah, but you see what these companies do is that they also prevent the composer from registering his work in a copyright. So what you say is right, that it is illegal in India. But if the Copyright Society, if a work is not in its database, it cannot claim royalties because it's not in its database. And that is how these royalty-free platforms operate. They don't register the works with the Copyright Society. So the Copyright Societies cannot intervene.
Okay. What needs to be done? If you were told or requested to create a task force, give some suggestions.
No, I cannot prevent some composers who are in need and, they say there's immediate money. Fine, it's their decision.
No, fine.
They are free to do it. But I would say that no talented composer who has work experience and who has who's a real professional will ever do it. He might have done it at the early stage in his life when he was, he had to pay the bills.
Right.
But once you are a confirmed talent, nobody does it. You will never get anybody to sign away to renounce their copyright.
Absolutely, absolutely. Happily, SyncMama is looking at now solving one half of the problem by being a wonderful alternative to the royalty pirates.
We do not host on SyncMama a single track where the rights have been signed away by the composer. Not a single track.
Wonderful. So you're not a pipeline for the epidemics of the world.
Oh no, they are. I think within 18 months to 24 months, I hope to see that they have no business in India anymore. Not only that, the SyncMama is built to become a global platform.
Absolutely.
So right now we are operating in South Asia, that is India, surrounding countries, and Mauritius.
Excellent.
But very soon, by next year, we will expand to other territories: South America, Africa, Middle East, Southeast Asia.
Excellent. More strength to you, Achille. 2 more questions, I think. One is about the SyncMama, the pricing and the individual and pro and corporate. The individual, suppose I'm an individual who's doing something, a podcast, and I create my episode, and if I were to license it somewhere, sell it somewhere, make some money out of it, do I need a pro license for something like that, or what? I mean, what is the difference between individual and pro? It's just on the agency?
Yeah, solo is when you work on your own, for yourself.
Okay.
It is your platform. You are not working for somebody else.
Okay.
It is your platform, all right? The YouTubers, podcasters like you, etc. It's for solo.
Okay.
The pro are individuals who are working for others.
Right.
Who are talented individuals, and you have a lot of people who need ads to be done, social media, etc. So these professionals, they subscribe to a professional account and they can work for others. They just have to, every time, as I say, register, create a license so that we know whom to pay.
Right.
Because unless they tell us which music they are using where, we cannot pay the composer.
Got it.
So I have, when somebody subscribes and pays me 1,250 rupees a month, I have a fiduciary duty to share some of that money with the right owners.
Correct. Got it. Let's talk about radio now. Okay, Achille, what are your thoughts on the evolution of radio since it hit the peak of popularity? What is the condition of radio today? Some say it's dying. Many say it's time to celebrate 100 years of radio this year. In fact, my friend and one of my really nice radio leaders, Surinder of Red FM, said the same kind of thing. Abe Thomas says the same. Lots of my friends out here. What is your assessment of radio? In fact, even radio networks have gone, and the biggest has taken the word radio out of its name and just become Mirchi.
Yeah.
So digital is huge. But what does that tell you about the view and perspective on FM radio in India? Is taking out digital an indication of, the acknowledgement of how in very many myriad ways today, different ways and formats of audio are proliferating? What does it tell you? And what do you think about radio? What is your guidance to the FM radio professionals who work every day? It's like, bore a new well and bring out water every day. It's the most difficult medium to survive in.
Well, radio, if you take away the music, what is left? Okay. Now, you must know, unfortunately, it's not well known enough, is that radios have never paid IPRA. Never, ever. So they have become, multi-crore, 3,800 crore industry on the back of the labor, of the work of the lyricists and the composers, and they have not paid one naya pesa to them. So I don't give a shit about the radio industry. Let them die. I don't care.
Strong words.
Yeah, they haven't paid. And they have taken, you see, it is a more cynical business. They have taken the legal route to, and once you go to court, as a friend of mine said once, go to court and I'll see you in 20 years.
Yes.
So they have since almost 20 years they are in court. And there is a hearing, one lawyer is not there, then the judge is not there, then it goes, then you have one judge who takes this view, then you have another judge who takes another view, and it's all in a limbo. They have not paid one penny to the lyricists and composers of India in all those years. Why should I care about them?
Right.
And moreover, it is a losing. It's what are they bringing to the table? Can you tell me one artist who has been broken by a radio? Because a radio played him, he has become famous, or she has become famous. No, they're just playing what is already famous. They are piggyback riding on the investments of the film producers.
Right.
And of the record labels. They're not doing any original work. So it's a shitty industry. For me, it may as well die. I don't care, because it will not change the life of a single lyricist or a composer. And today, I haven't listened to radio in decades now. But I see my driver, for example, when I'm not there, he's never listening to radio. He's on YouTube, he's on Instagram, he's on different platforms. He's not listening to radio. My maid is not listening to radio. So they have not contributed anything to the creativity of India. Zero contribution.
Okay. Strong views and respect them completely, Achille, coming from you. I sense the utter, complete bitterness also.
You look at the annual report from IPRS, income from radio, zero. Now, there is no other country in the world where it is like this. Maybe Myanmar, Zimbabwe, maybe. But a country like India, it doesn't exist that there is zero income for lyricists and composers from radio. It's a shame.
Absolutely. And it's only music that drives it.
It's a foundation of their business.
Correct. There's nothing else. There are some RJs who are talented. Many of the others are toiling, working hard, of course. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right. The industry needs to resolve this because there are the others who are creating all the music on which radio, as you say, is just piggyback riding and doing stuff for free.
So you see, you have an owner of a restaurant who plays music. He pays or she pays IPRS.
Yes.
You have these small businesses who pay IPRS.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But you have these huge conglomerates who have radio, television, newspaper, name it.
Yeah.
They don't pay.
Correct. One more question. Just to go away from the slight bitterness that's come in. And
not bitterness, it's anger.
It's anger. Yeah. Sure.
How can you do that? How can you be so uncultured?
Yeah.
How can you be so mean? How can you be so vicious and so anti-national? They have not contributed. There's zero contribution to the culture of the country, musical culture.
Several years ago, I think it was in the late 90s or slightly mid to late 90s when Sony Entertainment Television had started, and I was on the production team there doing shows like Ahat CID, Hina Bhamar Mahayagya. And for the first time in India, I remember that my shows were the first ones to start the music cue sheets. And there were composers like Raju Singh and others who still, by God's grace, thanks to their good work, earn good royalties.
Yeah.
But I also hear that I don't know how this is allowed or permitted, but there are some music directors and composers who have registered like 30,000 tracks. How was that possible? Why do you think that happened? Did that happen?
Well, it didn't happen under my watch. I am aware of it.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that my stand on this, if I am asked, is how come they are registered? Is there any proof? I give you one example. There is one episode of a Hindi serial. One of my tracks has been included.
Okay.
Now, when I checked the cue sheet that has been registered as IPRS, my track was not there. So why did IPRS register this cue sheet? There is no proof. There is just the proof that, this is the music director. But, you have a 22-minute episode. It's not 22-minute music.
Correct.
It may be 3 minutes. It may be 7 minutes. It may be...
Yeah.
So all this, a cue sheet has to show this. What is the name of the cue?
Absolutely.
No cue name is given. Just I am the composer. How can you register that? It's a mistake to have registered that. If it has been registered, because I don't know. But I would say a society should never, ever register such cue sheets because they are just made up. You need to prove what you register. Do you have a video of it?
Why do you think they are made up? What is the ulterior, or it borders on the criminal?
No, because the name of the composer is there in the credits. So he gives, whatever he wants. But tell me which human being, outside, let's try to find in the rest of the world a composer who has done, 15,000 episodes. It doesn't exist. Okay?
Yeah.
So that itself should, show that, I should look closer into this issue and not just register.
And how do they gain from this stuffing?
Well, you see, the thing is, it has had a vicious side effect because such people have registered, so much music that nobody can believe that it is possible. So then some composers say that then, background music should be given a different weightage.
Right.
Yeah. But we'll see, because the jury is still open. Nothing has been decided as yet officially. But in my opinion, and I'm very firm on this, it's illegal. You are nobody to decide that a film song is worth this much and background music is worth that much. Because the music that I have has been recorded in studios with 30 musicians, 32 musicians, 16 musicians. Each one, the partition, the sheet has been written. I mean, these are real talented composers who have written this music. So how can you say that, because you have made a film music that this is worth much more?
Right.
It's not true. The music, some films have titles are big hits, but a lot are failures.
Absolutely.
Now, Bella Ciao is a production music song. Okay?
Yeah.
And look, it is much bigger than a lot of film music songs.
Absolutely.
My firm opinion is that such cue sheet should not be registered unless the video is shown, unless the music is timed, unless proper
cue names
are given to the cues, not Q1, Q2, Q3, no. Because the same theme is coming back again and again.
Correct.
So is it a theme song? So it has to go through a proper process of registration. This has to be followed. And if that proper process is implemented, you cannot register 12,000 episodes. Not possible.
And the ones that have been wrongly, erroneously, falsely, mischievously registered, how do we undo that?
You see, I am not involved in this side of the business of IPRS, so I cannot say.
Okay.
And my opinion has never been sought on that on this issue.
Okay.
So I cannot say. But if I am asked, I would say, there is a due process. Has the due process been followed? If not, it should not be registered.
Sure.
Now, it is true that, these people have worked on this because their name appears in the credits. But at the same time, you have to do a proper cue sheet. It's not because your name is there that,
Right.
Because we pay... IPRS pays according to the number of seconds per year that a particular channel has broadcast music.
Okay.
So if you say that in this episode I have 18 minutes music when you have only 3 minutes, you are cheating.
Got it.
Okay.
Wow. Achille, thank you very much indeed. Really, you are always plain speaking. You are indeed the sagacious and sometimes feisty and often fiery druid, the knowledge guru in the industry, and especially in audio, music, and everything that is allied with it, across regulation, across creators, across licensors. And you've built a platform which is SyncMama, which is going to absolutely evangelize the space very significantly amongst the creators, individual creators of music tracks that can be licensed. And which is why, an epidemic kind of a platform might have 30, 40 odd thousand tracks, and you on SyncMama already have 400 odd thousand, and I'm sure it's going to become much bigger.
You can call SyncMama the cure for epidemic.
I love that. The cure for epidemic. Wonderful. So SyncMama, indeed, I hope and I'm sure it's going to be the cure for epidemic and its ilk. And thank you for all the insights, all the wonderful thoughts and suggestions and strategic way forward kind of expressions that you've shared with us for the industry. I really enjoyed the conversation. I've been a huge fan of audio, radio, music all my life, and SyncMama is actually doing some great work. What did you think of our chat so far, Achille?
Yes, Pavan. Well, thank you very much. And thanks especially for having such a great platform like Mediabrief, where issues like this can be discussed which you cannot find in the printed press, which you cannot find elsewhere. It's such an important work that you are doing. And I want to give you a great thank you.
Wonderful. You are so kind and so bracing. Coming from you, that is indeed precious praise. Thank you very much, Achille. Thanks also to Simone Pies from Prominent Comms for having made this interaction possible. Achille Forler, founder and executive director of SyncMama.com, was my distinguished, very inspiring, extremely insightful guest, the expert on this episode of MVP The Master's Voice Podcast, our award-winning series from Mediabrief.com. I'm your host and friend Pavan Chawla. I hope you too found Achille's insights extremely inspiring, just as I did. Till we meet again in the next episode of MVP The Master's Voice Podcast series on Mediabrief.com, this is your host and friend Pavan Chawla saying, take care, stay safe, bye-bye.